Super Future has this way of making harmonic basses that sound distorted but clean at the same time, and I love that balance. In this video, I got a few tricks to help you achieve that vibe too. Let's break down the drop that you just heard step by step. Comment which artist you would like me to cover next, and let's dive right in. So we'll start with the drums, then we'll move to the synths, and then to the fills. So the drums sound like this. And they consist of a kick drum, 3 snares layered. So first one, second one, third one. Together they sound like this. Then I have this hi-hat loop and a couple toms just to create a little drum fill in there. With that out of the way, let's move into the synths. So right in the group for the synths, I have my sidechain already in place. I'm using utility for creating the sidechain automation. And then I also have a reverb throw rack, which is just basically helping transition from section to section in the drop. Like right in here, for example. And just to create like little like sweep effects during this other section in the drop. So let's start with my favorite sound from this project, and this harmonic bass right in here. So this one started with a simple sine wave, and here's something that I want you to pay attention to is that I put this oscillator 3 octaves and 7 semitones up, and that's one of the key factors to get like that harmonic sound that you get from artists like Super Future. We'll hear more of it once we put more effects into it, but for now I just enabled the second oscillator, which is also another sine wave, but this one it's I didn't modify the octaves or the semitones for this one. So right now I have my sub and the tone in there. Then I put this wavetable, and for this one I fine-tuned it -5 cents down, and that's just giving it a little bit of movement. As I said, you'll get more of the gritty sound once we move into the effects, but right before that I just wanted to show you that I have this LFO with this shape, and that's being routed to the filtering here, which is affecting the 3 oscillators. Lastly, I enabled the sub oscillator as well with the volume all the way up. Now let's move into the effects, and first things first, I have tube distortion, then single band compression. Then that's where you start getting like the nice gritty sound. Then phaser, hyper, chorus, utility, and this is just making the frequencies mono below 120 Hertz. And then this EQ is boosting everything above like 2000 Hertz. So now that we're getting more of the sound, I just want to show you how important this is. If I put this down to 0 semitones, like still sounding cool, but not as cool as having something like this. You can also play with a +4 in here. That will give you like an even grittier texture, but for this one, +7 semitones would sound pretty good. And this oscillator C, is what's giving it the gritty aspect of the whole thing. Without it, it's very screechy, and this oscillator just helps to make it grittier, but in a way that sounds more like the Super Future vibe, basically. Outside of the effects, I just put amp And then I put this EQ, cutting everything below 100, and I'm just decreasing a little bit on the low mids just to make it a little bit cleaner and not too muddy. And then I'm increasing a little bit on the 800 range and 5K. So yeah, one quick trick for getting those harmonic basses that you hear from artists like Superfuture is using this type of intervals like +3 octaves and +7 semitones. It's pretty useful. Then after this one, I just have a sub layer, which basically what I did was just duplicating this track and then deleting all that I didn't need and just left this sine wave with an extra harmonic in there just to make it a little bit fatter. And in the effects, I just have soft clip and distortion and EQ. So that's covering for the sub bass portion of the sound. And that's how those two sound together. Something really important in here that I realized while I was doing this video is the note that you're hitting this sound, because I reference one track from Superfuture that he wrote in C# and he was using this type of harmonic bass, and just the fact that this is in C# is kind of what makes it sound so gritty, because C# is kind of like a lower note. You don't normally, there is not that many bass songs written in C#. Is mostly, you know, from D to F. And if I play this in F, like that's a completely different vibe. So something really insightful for me while I was making this video is just realizing that sometimes the key that you're hitting really matters. Like C# gives you a total different vibe than F, and not only like a different vibe in the melody sense, but also like in the timbre of the sound itself. So yeah, just thought that was something super interesting, and I just wanted to share that before I move on. But now let's talk about this next sound, which is the sustain bass. This one is layered with this like square wub sound. But we'll get into that one in a second. Let's check this one first. So this one started once again with a sine wave. And then the secret sauce for this sound is the harmonic series in the second oscillator. I'm not doing any FMing or anything. I'm just controlling the volume of each oscillator separately. And this harmonic series is what's giving you the tone of the sound, basically. If you move the wavetable position, you can get tons of different sounds out of it. So I highly recommend you to play out with this. Then I enable oscillator C, and this one is a saw wave, but I went into the distortion mode in here and I put the linear fold distortion, 12%. And that's just adding like a ton of nice harmonics in there without me having to actually distort this too much. So yeah, pretty useful to have that extra oscillator that you can like distort on its own so that you have like a cleaner signal in here, if that makes sense. Now let's move into the effects. In there, there's not that much going on actually. I put single band compression, hyper dimension, and this EQ just was boosting a little bit around here. So yeah, that's it for the patch. You can hear that is nothing like the final product, and that's because the Redux and amp is where you get most of the sound. So Redux is introducing some nice top frequencies, and amp is just amplifying everything. Lastly, I just put an EQ and I did some shaping, like boosting the sub, boosting around 2K and around 6K, and then just cutting above like 16K. So yeah, this Redux plus amp combo is something that I've been using a lot lately, and I highly recommend it to get like that nice, gritty, noisy distortion. Now let's break down this square wub. So once again, starting with this time analog dB sine, phase distortion from B, 42%. Oscillator B has a triangle wave with 4 octaves. And check out that now I'm using the +4 semitones up. This kind of builds on the concept from the first sound that we talked about. That's how it sounds, pretty horrible, but if we enable the filter, we get that nice tighter sound. And for that, I'm using the LFO 1, this shape, and this settings. Then I enable oscillator C, and that has a square wave, which right now sounds like that. But the trick in here, and this is also a cool tip, is I sent this oscillator and this oscillator only to the first bus. So that means that besides going through the main effects, it's also going through these effects that are only enabled for that specific oscillator. And so that gives me extra flexibility to play with effects just for this specific sound without affecting the oscillator A and oscillator B. So yeah, pro tip, use the buses inside Serum because they can really be powerful. So going into the bus 1, first things first, I put this filter. LFO is being mapped in here. Then I put soft clipping. And then this EQ. Now let's go into the main tab of the effects. In there I got hyperdimension. Some filtering. After the filter, I put some downsampling distortion. And that's giving it that like bit reduction type sound. Or that lo-fi sound basically. Then I put some phaser. And then bode in here. That's for the patch itself. Then outside I just put erosion and EQ, just cutting the low end. And that just creates a really nice layer for the sustain bass. Because sometimes it happens that you have a sustain bass but nothing beneath, and you know that doesn't sound sometimes interesting enough, so adding some sort of like rhythm like that definitely helps, and it's something that you can hear from artists like Superfuture. Then I have this fill, which it's actually a variation of the sound that you just heard, but in here you can see that the octave is +2 only instead of +4 and +4. I'm still using the square wave, routing it to the first bus. I still have the bandpass being mapped to oscillator A with these values. I also have my sub being direct out and sent to the first bus. And so basically in the main tab, I have pretty much the same effects, just deleting some stuff like bode and the downsampling distortion. And in the bus 1, I have the filter, as I mentioned earlier, some soft clipping distortion, and the EQ. And for this one, it's pretty interesting when you play out with the point of the LFO in here, because you can get pretty different sounds out of it. So right now, sounds like that, but I can just move this around. And can get a ton of different variations of the Wub. So yeah, I really suggest you to play with all that. And actually, if you want to play with any of this, I just want to let you know that I have the full project file and the presets available on my Patreon right now. So check the link in the description if you want to get it. Outside of the patch for this one, I just have amp and erosion. So without it, with it, yeah, pretty cool. Then I have this other bass fill, which is a pretty short one, but sounds pretty fun to me. That one started with a saw wave and this LFO shape, and the LFO is mapped to the coarse pitch, as you can see in here. 30% unipolar mode, as you can see in here. If you want to change from bipolar to unipolar, you can just click this. The LFO is also being mapped to the level. Then I put this filter. The LFO is being mapped to the cutoff in there, minus 15%. Then I put hyperdimension, tube distortion on pre-filter mode, compression, and reverb. Then outside of the patch, I just have erosion and EQ just boosting a lot of the sound. I think the key of this sound is the coarse pitch modulation. If I bypass that, it doesn't have the same quality. Something that I've heard people like Super Future do is using stuff like a background string, like this, which is just basically from the multi-sample mode. I just select this sample and I just have a little bit of reverb on it, and then on the MIDI I'm just hitting like a really high note, like a C#6, and that just helps to build tension, you know. So without it, with it, yeah, I turned the volume up a little bit just so you can hear it better, but this tends to be more in the background, and I think it really does help adding some tension to the background of the drop. Now going into the fills, I have the white noise. This is just operator white noise sound, and I'm just filtering, doing just like a little filter automation, and the resonance is up. And then I have some crashes, some reverse crashes, stuff like that, and then this little vocal sample with delay that, once again, I feel like is just adding some extra attitude to the drop and some extra tension. So that's how you get that clean but gritty Super Future vibe. If you want to take this sound even further, check out my Arson tutorial. It builds on what we covered here, and I also talk about other techniques for harmonic basses. Tap the video on screen and I'll see you right there.